Hey, it's Sarah and I wanted to do a quick video here just to talk about sharing our stories. Talk about talking. And also I had my hair done today and I've had it cut quite short for me, so I wanted to, you know while it's nice and you just had your hair done and you have to either go out there or, in my case, record videos. Chop the hair off, part of the new identity. Anyway, I just wanted to quickly talk about sharing stories because if you follow me on Instagram, I've just shared a post fairly recently about relating to Birth Trauma Awareness Week, which is going on this week. It's as recording this video, it's Thursday, so it's nearly finished, Birth Trauma Awareness Week, so it might not be on by the time you watch this video. But I just wanted to use Birth Trauma Awareness Week as an example, really, of something where women are coming together and sharing their stories. So a lot of mums are sharing their stories on, how birth trauma has affected them personally. And I think this is a good thing, and I think this can be quite healing as well for people. There seems to be this thing generally in society where, and I think it's lessening now, especially through, like YouTube, social media and things, where we've got a bit more of a platform to kind of, speak our own truths and use our own voices. But there's still that kind of feeling of women, keeping quiet about things, personal experiences, maybe being even afraid to share their stories of what happened to them. So even maybe if we do, speak about them and our stories, there's still that kind of feeling of, should I be saying this? What are people going to think of me? So where is it that we've got that from? Where is it that we've picked that up? Is it, hundreds of years of repression of women? I believe the psychic Kimberly Jones referred to it as the witch wound, which is these centuries of oppression of women, and we don't want to speak up, or we don't use our voices to be heard, because at some point in history we were persecuted for that and we were killed for it. And it's like that residual trauma from that has filtered its way down through the ancestry, through our female lineage. And it does, this has been looked at, isn't it, scientifically, that things like trauma are passed down through the DNA. So this makes sense, that because people back in the day were killed for speaking their truth and speaking their beliefs, that it's filtered down now, and we just can't speak. Or we can speak, but it's bloody hard, and it brings up a lot of inner stuff within us and blocks and things to sort out that we have to work through. So yeah, I think sharing your story is important. I think, things happen to us in life that are so many different things, unfair, unjust, and traumatic things as well. And I don't personally believe that we go through those sorts of things in our lives just to then kind of put a brave face on it and say to the outside world, everything's fine, I've got everything together, I don't need any help, thank you. And just to, kind of muddle on through, essentially, and pretend it's never happened and not speak about it. Because who's that helping? And it is certainly not helping us personally. If you think about tribal cultures, for example, there's a lot of stories of women coming together in those kind of cultures and, sitting in circle and sharing their own stories. So that might be around birth, it might be around baby loss, it might be around death of another sort. It could be about anything, but the point is they share their stories. And I think because that culture normalizes that, it then helps people who have recently gone through either something the same or very similar, or a traumatic experience, for example. It helps those people to really make sense of that for them, so that they can begin to work through and heal from that. I think when our stories aren't shared and they're kept under wraps, then when something does happen to you as a personal experience that may be traumatic, that you start more to blame yourself and think it was something that you did, even if intellectually you kind of know, well, it wasn't anything I did, but even if you know intellectually, on some level you kind of catch yourself believing that it is, and it was somehow your fault and you were to blame. So yeah, that's just my quick rant about sharing stories, really, is essentially that I believe it is a good thing and we should do it not only for ourselves to help us heal, because speaking our stories, you know, is part of the healing process, sharing them and speaking them with other people, but also, again, to help other people as well, because that helps them to know they're not alone in that experience. Other people have gone through maybe not exactly the same thing, but something very similar, and it helps them to make sense of that experience and therefore helps them to heal. Well, hopefully you can tell I'm quite passionate about this, and this kind of encapsulates what I was wanting to do with a project that I started about a year and a half ago, which I had to put on hold for a while. So if you've followed me more for over the last couple of years, then you'll know what I'm on about. So I'm hoping to relaunch that project in the coming weeks. It's looks a little different than it did do, especially after COVID and lockdowns and changing landscapes in how we all meet together and group together. It's going to look a little bit different practically, but the ethos is still the same in supporting mums, and not just after giving birth, but all through motherhood, and a place where we can come together and share our stories if that's what's needed, and find things to help us on our healing journeys. As ever, if you want to hear more rants like this, then please hit subscribe. Or there's also the monthly energy forecast as well to tell you what's going on in the world. And let me know in the comments below what your opinions are on sharing stories as well. Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? Or do you find it easy to share stories, or only maybe with people personally that you know very well? So yeah, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.